Hi, my lovely kids, students. I'm really so sorry. I have a medical emergency today. I have to go to the doctor first thing in the morning, and I am not going to be able to be at school today. So I apologize. Please watch this video. The do not posted in Schoology. I'm going to be looking for that one for a grade. Please take your time. Please work through it. You have all the time you need. All right, this is going to be our look for the week. This is our calendar. All right, we have slip for more problems today. I'll be going through those with you. And then we have a Unit 4 review. For you will be Tuesday. And then you guys have early release Wednesday. I don't see you, but that is for you. And then Thursday, you guys have a test. So that's what your week looks like. Wednesday, Thursday, we're still planning that out. So we'll let you know. It'll be something about functions. So probably function practice is what we'll be doing. So just be aware. These are the notes for the day. I'm not sure if they'll print it out, put on their printout for you. We had some issues with the printer, so I will leave just follow the notes. I'll leave the paper copy in Schoology for you to refer to, if that helps. But I'll be going through it. Watch the video. Table of contents is here. Well, I'll just post the slides so that you will have them. I'll just do that. I'll just have the slides posted. All right, table of contents is here. Slope from word problems, 1020, 1023. Okay, so quick review. The table below shows the order pair, if it's linear or not. One of these things that you can do is you're going to do the change in y over change in x. So I know here that I'm adding 1 each time. So my change in y is going to be 1. And then my change in x is going to be 2. All right. So I know my slope is going to be 1/2. This is without graphing it. But then if you guys look, our y-intercept is always when x is at 0. Okay, that's our y-intercept. So I know my y-intercept is going to be 2.5. It's going to be right here. And I know my slope is going to be 1/2. So that means I'm going to be rising 1 and running twice. So I rise 1, run 2 times, and then I will draw a line. My line is not going to be that straight. It's not too bad. But you're going to use a straight edge to make sure your line is straight. Okay? And that's what our line would look like. It would look something like that. Okay? You're right, guys. Okay. The relationship between the number of quarts, y, and an equal number of gallons, x, is shown in the graph. The graph, based on the graph, which of the following is not true? So when we have things that say not true, this is when I like to play the true or false game. So the slope of the line is going to be 0.25. So right here, I know I'm going to want to make that a fraction. If you don't know how to make this a fraction, you can type this in your calculator, click math, enter, and it'll make it a fraction for you. But I know that 0.25 is going to be 1/4. So my slope is going to be 1/4. So I'm going to check that. Oh, yeah. Well, nope, that's not going to work. Because if I look here, if it's going to be 1/4, that means I need to rise 1 and run 4 times. So that's what that will look like. I rise once and I run 4 times, and my line would be here. This says that I'm rising 4 and I'm running once. So I'm rising forward and I'm running once. And that is not working. And that is not what I'm looking for here. So this is going to be false. Okay, now let's check the other ones. The y-intercept is located at the origin. That is true. The origin is 0, 0. So that's going to be true. The equation of this relationship is y equals 4x. So I'm rising forward, running once. That is the slope of this equation. So that is true. Okay, and there's no y-intercept, so that's why they don't have the plus b. And then D, 2.5 gallons, which would be right here, is equivalent to 10 quarts. And that point is on the line, so that is true. So our answer would be A. All right, now you're going to do this one. So take 2 minutes and do this question. All right, now that the time has stopped, we can check your answer. So hopefully you pause the video. All right, so the table shows the linear relationship between the balance of student's savings account and the number of weeks he has been saving. Based on the table, what is the rate of change? So another word for rate of change is slope of the student savings account in dollars and cents. So here, every time I see here, I'm going to be adding 7. Then this one is a little bit different. Here, I'm going to be adding, I'm just going to put it here. I'm going to put these in blue. 14. That's a really ugly 14. I apologize. It's so ugly. All right. Here, I'm going to be adding 21. Okay. Then here, I'm going to be adding 14. And then here, I'm going to be adding, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'm going to do a little math over here, guys. Don't mind me. 1, 2, 3 minus 8, 8. Hopefully you guys do it better than me. It'll be 11. 3, that'll be 5. And then that would be 35. Okay. Here, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 2, and then this one is going to be 5. So now we have to see if these are equivalent. So remember, time is always X, and if it's on top, it's always X. And the balance, which is your money, is always going to be Y. Money is always Y, and time is always X. Just get that into memorization. So if I were to put these up here, like I showed you, it would be 7 over 1, 14 over 2, 21 over 3, 14 over 2, and then 35 over 5. If we divided all of these, so 7 divided by 1 is 7, 14 divided by 2 is 7, 21 divided by 3 is 7, 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. We see that our slope would be 7. Okay? And if we need to make an entire table, so it says based on the table, what is our rate of change of the balance of student savings account in dollars a week? All we need to know that the rate of change is a slope, and our answer would be 7. All right. Also, we can also put this in stat edit. So if you want to use a calculator, that's perfectly okay. So we're going to do second plus 712. We're going to hit stat, enter. We're going to enter in all of our x values, 0, 1, 3, 6, 8, 13. Then we're going to put in our y values, which would be 32, 39, 53, 74, 88, and then 1, 2, 3. Then we do stat, calc, 4, enter, 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 enter. And as you see, the A is also 7. So if you're not good at putting it in like, doing the change in y or change in x, you can also put in stat edit, but you need to pick a plan, stick with it, know that's how you're going to find slope. Okay. Next. Oh, look, $7 per week. We were right. All right, we do. The line segment on the graph shows the altitude of the landing airplane from the time its wheels are lowered to the time it touches the ground. Which of the following describes the slope in segments? So we're going to read through each one to see which one is correct. So the plane descends about 1 foot per 8 seconds. So we see that seconds is 8, seconds is on the x-axis, and feet is on the y-axis. So in 8 seconds, it descends 1 foot. So that's pretty hard to determine because we don't know what the slope is. So the slope is going to be our unit rate. So when we find the slope, we can find what it is. So one thing for me to find the slope is I'm going to find 2 pretty points. I have one here, and then I have one here. If God gives you the x and y intercepts, you use them. So I know here that I'm going to be rising 1,500. Wow, that's ugly. Right here. And I'm going to be running 180. Now, what I did was I crossed the zeros out because that's just a quick way of simplifying. And then I know I have 150 over 18. Okay, and then you can simplify it from there. That's just one way to do it. For me, I'm kind of lazy right now, so you can also just type it in your calculator. You can do alpha x, you rose 1,500, and then you ran 180. You type it in like that, press enter, and you'll get that your slope is going to be 25 over 3. So every 25 feet, took 3 seconds. Okay. And just stick with me because this might be a process and I want you to be able to follow it. So now the plane descends about 1 foot in 8 seconds. So now I'm going to put this in pink and see, do these two look similar? 1 foot, 8 seconds. And right off the back, I can tell that's not going to work because it's descending at a rate of 25 feet in 3 seconds. If I wanted to do this even further, it's going to be about 8 in 1 second. And the reason why I can determine that is if I did 25 divided by 3, it's around 8. So what we're looking at is descending 1 foot in 8 seconds. And that's not what it's saying. 8 feet. We're looking for it. It's descending 8 feet in 1 second. So this is not true. So that is going to be false. The plane descends at 1 foot in 2 seconds. That's still not true because you kind of want your feet to be higher than your seconds. So I can tell that's false. Okay. Now I'm erasing it again. And the plane is descending about 2 feet per second. And remember, per is going to be another way of saying 1. So we're saying 2 feet per second. Yeah, that looks better, but that's still not proportional to what we're looking for. But the plane descends 8 feet per second. That's more on brand of what we're looking for. And that is going to be our answer. D. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause this. Try to see if you can do this one on your own. If you can't, I'm going to do it with you. So I'm going to do it. So the line graphed on the coordinate grid can be used to determine the slope of inches of the water added to a swimming pool after a different number of hours. Which statement best describes the slope? So we need to find the slope here of the graph line. So I'm going to find 2 pretty points, and they're kind of hard to see. So if you need to look at mine, that's perfectly fine. Here's a pretty point here, and that's going to be 5 and 12. And pretty points are where they perfectly intersect on the coordinate plane. And then another pretty point here is the origin, 0, 0. So if I want to do my rise over run, I know that I'm rising 12 and I'm running 5. So my slope is going to be 12 over 5. And then I had to see what that is as a decimal because all my answer choices are in decimal format. So I'm going to grab my calculator and then I'm going to do 12 divided by 5, enter, and I'm going to get 2.4. Okay, so now I'm going to go and read each of these answer choices. So the water is being added at a rate of 0.42 inches per hour. That's not true because we discovered it's going to be 2.4 inches per hour. So that's incorrect because if I look at 1, it's going to be close to around 2.4. And that's another way you can do it. You can look at 1 and see what is 1 at. So that's false. This says 0.8 hour, and we see we're closer to 2, so that's false. And C would be our answer because that's going to be the closest to what we need. So C, the water is being added at a rate of 2.4 inches per hour, and the water is being added at a rate of 1.25 inches per hour. Oh, miracle. Okay, David has some money in a savings account at a local bank. He will add the same amount of money to the account each week for the next several weeks. The table shows the amount of money he will have at the end of X weeks. Which statement is true? So here we're going to have to do a little bit of both. We're going to have to find our each week. And anytime you see something that has each week, that is going to be your slope. That's what you're looking for as your slope. So anything has each week. The original, that is going to be your y-intercept. That is our starting amount. Okay. So I'm going to do stat, enter, and we're going to do 1, enter, 3, enter, 8, enter, 10, enter, and 13, enter. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do 125, 175, 300, 350, and 425. And then we do stat, calc, 4, enter, 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 enter. And as we see, we get our slope, which is going to be 25. And our starting amount is going to be our $100. So that's just a fast way of doing it. And I just wanted to show you that way. So we can say, well, David originally had $75. No, he originally had $100 because that is our y-intercept. Okay, so that's false. Okay, David originally had $100 and now he's saving $50 each week. That's not true because our rate of change is 25 and he's going to be saving $25 each week. So that's false. David originally had $75. No, because our y-intercept is $100. So that's going to be false. So our correct answer is going to be D. All right. Oh, look at that. All right. So here. The gym charges a membership fee plus an additional fee per yoga class. The table shows a linear relationship between the number of yoga classes taken and the total cost, including the membership fee. So here, you can pause this and do this on your own. I am going to do it. And this one, I'm just going to do the calculator again. Okay, why not? So I'm going to clear it out. I'm going to do second plus 7, 1, 2. So it's nice and clear. I'm going to do stat, enter. I'm going to enter in all my x values, which is going to be the number of classes. And always know when you see money, it's always going to be your y values. Okay, so I'm going to enter in them all. So it's going to be 6, enter, 8, enter, 10, enter, 14, enter, 20, enter. Then we're going to go over to our y values, which is going to be 67.5, 75, 82.5, 97.5, and 120. Then I do stat, calc, 4, enter, 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 enter. And now I have my answer. So I know that my rate of change or my per class is going to be about $3.75. So anything that has per each anything always has the variable attached to it. And remember I talked about that in our equations unit. Same thing for slope. And then our starting amount is going to be $45. So that's how we write the equation. All right, so here I can go through. The additional fee per yoga class is $3.75. Okay, and that is going to be our correct answer. Because that's the only number that's correct. It's actually $45 to start the membership fee. And that's the only one I could see that would confuse you. All right, so now what you're going to be working on is an escape room. It's posted in Google Classroom. You're going to work on that for the rest of class. I'm going to be checking to make sure you get it right. Make sure you show your work. You can use the whiteboards and markers. They're in the classroom. Just make sure you clean up after yourself because I am not there to monitor you. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you next week. All right? Bye.